Hello friends, welcome to learnexcelmacro.com. My name is Vishwa and this is the first video of tutorial for Excel VBA beginners. So if you do not know anything about Excel VBA and you are willing to learn Excel VBA programming, this is the right tutorial for you. So before we start with what kind of language this is, what is VBA and how do we program in it, is it really difficult or is it an easy language to learn? With a lot of questions I'll be answering in other videos, but before we start with all those questions, I would like to give you a brief about the history of Excel VBA. And the reason why I'm sharing the history of Excel VBA, this has nothing to do with learning Excel VBA, but I find it really interesting, and that's the reason I would like to share it with you. So before Office 97, Microsoft has a language for spreadsheet programming called Macro 4.0, Excel Macro 4.0, and that was not called Excel VBA. So VBA stands for Visual Basic for Applications. So till then, it used to be a text based programming language. So it was not like object oriented programming language or any other structured programming language. It used to be a spreadsheet text based programming language. And fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know, I have never worked on that language. I have never used it, and I don't know about anything how difficult or easy it used to be. But I have read about it that it used to be really difficult as compared to the Excel VBA what we have now. So in that sense, I feel that okay, we have much more better language now. So to give you an idea, they used to say when Excel programming when Macro 4.0 was used. So in many other companies, when the author of that macro left the organization, then it used to be easy to rewrite the whole program again rather than assessing and knowing what exactly this program was doing, or to make some modification in the existing program. So now you can imagine how difficult it used to be and how difficult it was to maintain a program, because maintainability is again another aspect where we assess any language. So in all those aspects, if we see, Excel VBA has got much more flexibility and it is much more easier than the Excel Macro 4.0, I would say, or else you can say that macro basically and not VBA, because what we use right now is Excel VBA and not Excel Macro. Though we still have that option that you can still code it, but I don't think that nowadays anybody is using it. If you see here, you can right click, and when you go to insert, you can see there is a Excel Macro 4.0. This sheet you can add it, and there is another sheet added like macro. Now you see, this is how the Excel sheet used to be, where they used to do the programming. So and the only way you can understand what this whole program is doing, if a professional, the author of that macro, has given you the comments, proper comments, then only you can understand what this piece of code is doing. So in that way, it was really difficult to maintain. So this was about a bit of history of Excel VBA. I hope you will enjoy this. Now coming to the current VBA, which we are going to learn that. So before we jump into the Excel VBA programming, so I thought of giving you a brief introduction. Where do we program and what kind of screen does it look, and with some basic terms which I'm going to use in my other videos. So it will be really important for you to know before I start using those jargons in my coming videos. So this is the Excel spreadsheet and your code lies behind it. So there is another screen, I would say, or a page which is called as a VBE, that stands for Visual Basic Editor, and that can be opened by pressing Alt plus F11 by the shortcut, or else you can go to the developer tab, and then you can see here, if yeah, for that you need to go to the sheet, because macro sheet is not for that. And then you go to sheet here and then click on view code. By this way you can go, or else you can press Alt F11, or else you can right click on your sheet name, and then click on the view code. So by doing all these three, you can go to the Visual Basic Editor. So let me press Alt F11, and now you see so now you see the Visual Basic Editor here. So this is how it looks. The first look is like this. So we'll go one by one and we will understand what these all options are, all these windows are for. So first thing, on the left hand side you see that in the left navigation there is VBA project book 1. Book 1 is basically the name of this workbook. So if you have a different name, so there you can say VBA project and in bracket the name of your workbook, and that way you can understand which workbook code you are right now looking at. So for example, if you have like 2 or 3 workbooks open at the same time, so you can see, for example, if I open another workbook, let's say, and now if I go to the VBA screen here, now you can see that there are 2 VBA projects. One is book 1 and one is book 4. So in this way you can see which code you are right now accessing it to. Yeah. So VBA is basically object oriented programming language. Yeah, it's kind of that. And why do we say that? Because it has structured the whole Excel application in different objects, and also there'll be methods, properties. So don't worry about these terms. I'll be explaining you what they mean and how do we use them. So here you can see always the top the top object is going to be your workbook object. So your application object. So here you can see your workbook, and then inside that you can see all the worksheets which are added, and this is for your workbook. Yeah. So this is the left hand navigation. Now if you want to see the code which are written for like sheet 1, for example, within sheet 1 what codes are written, so you can double click on this, or else you can click on here there is an icon. So you either click on this, either you double click on this sheet name, and then you see there is a white window here to write the program. So this is the place where actually you write your program, and this screen is an IDE. So it is an it is a area where you can write your program, and VBA will automatically compile it, and it will give you an error as soon as you type a wrong keyword or kind of thing. So so this is the place where you write your program. On top of this area you can see there is a drop down which is called object drop down. This shows all the objects which are there for that particular sheet. So for example, in sheet 1 right now there is only one object, that is worksheet. So as I mentioned before, VBA is a object oriented programming language, and the workbook or worksheet, and within worksheet you can see cells or the group of cells, that is called range. So these are different these are kind of objects. So as soon as a new object get added within worksheet, you will be able to see the list growing here with all the objects added for this particular worksheet. In right hand side you can see the procedures which are associated with that selected selected object. So right now on worksheet there is no procedure added, there is no function added. So as soon as you select this, VBA automatically does the one procedure it will add, at least as a wrapper it will add where you can write your code. So this is like worksheet selection change. It means that whatever code you will write here, um, it will get triggered as soon as the worksheet selection is changing. It means that now you have selected sheet 1, and when you move to sheet 2, then this code will trigger. I will explain you later about this, so don't worry about this. I'm just making you familiar with this screen and these drop downs and all. So now you can see here that all the list of possible procedures are listed here. So which is related to worksheet. For example, if it was a command button, then there'll be a different kind of procedures will be listed which is applicable to command button. So these are things which also helps you in understanding your task, what kind of task would you like to perform, and then by default Excel does it for you. So for example, if I want some action to be done as soon as I before I right click on a worksheet name, for example. So here I can write my program, for example, whatever, and then as soon as you right click, so before that this set of program will get executed. So this is something too much in detail for now, so don't worry about it. We will talk about this later, but now you're kind of familiar with this screen. Then there are other options here on top. You can see these are like normal, like file, and then you have edit. Inside that you have different normal options. You can also customize your ribbons. So what all options would you like to see here with related to your VBA programming? And also the one thing which I would like to highlight here is program what you are writing. It is not a separate file which gets stored somewhere else, but it is part of your workbook. So whenever you save your workbook, your code is also saved together. So this is also another beauty of this programming. So you don't need to maintain two separate files, or whenever you are sending your workbook, you need to send your code or that function separately, that other person can also use it. So you don't need to worry about all that. Excel does this linking with the code and the worksheet together with the workbook. It's together, so you don't need to worry about it, where to save and how to save. So this is part of workbook itself. And also there are other options here, like you can always look for to see the functions and to see the objects and associated properties and methods by going through the browse objects. So if you go here, you can see that always on top there'll be a Excel object, and inside that there are associated members of that particular object. You can always see here. So but these are too much of detail for now. So I would say these things I'll be explaining you in coming videos, and we will discuss it in detail. But for now, you are familiar with the VBA programming, what it stands for, what is the history of VBA, and how the code looks like, where to write the code. Of course you don't know how to write that code, but at least now you have seen the screen where do we write it, and how to open that screen from a workbook. And once a workbook is saved, whether your code is getting saved together or is it a separate file, that also now you know that it is not a separate file. It gets saved with your workbook. So these are not two separate entity, but it's one. And so that's all for now. I hope I have given you a bit of interest. Basically, at least you will be interested to learn this language. It's a really beautiful language, I find it, and it's interesting to learn. So hope to see you in my next video, where I'll be showing you how to write your first VBA program. So you will be really amazed to see that it's really easy to write your first program and see something is happening. So some action you are able to perform in Excel sheet, which is automatic, and just by writing a couple of line of code. So it's not really a big thing. Hope to see you in my next video. Till then, take care. Thank you. Bye bye.